Hello and welcome to BoardVision. My name's Steve Walker. I'm the General Counsel and Director of the Board Advisory Services at the National Association of Corporate Directors. Joined with me today are Gerry Czarnecki and Yvonne Jackson, two former C-suite executives and current board members, ranging from really large nonprofits to the top of the Fortune 500. Our subject matter today is board evaluations and the challenges in today's environment with conducting board evaluations. You know, only about 17% of public company boards today are conducting peer evaluations. Tell me about your experience and how did you get your board to that point?
You have to get a board through the build-up process. And so if you start out with perhaps a committee performance evaluation of itself, and then you move to the board, and then ultimately say, look, we've looked at ourselves as a board and how we operate in a group dynamic. Let's take the next step and let's give ourselves an opportunity to be able to see how we are seen by our peers on the board and whether there's a process that can help us improve ourselves. You have to sell the idea that it's a self-improvement process. And until the board members generally believe comfortably that the confidentiality of the process works, that the use of those pieces of information have been constructive as opposed to destructive. And so that if the board evaluates itself and says, we've identified a specific weakness in the way we are acting, and the board then constructively changes that, then the members of the board can feel more comfortable that when we look at ourselves individually or when we're looking at our peers individually, that it'll remain a constructive process. So you have to have the right leadership, both at the chair or lead director level, as well as at the governance committee level, to make sure that there is a clear understanding that whatever the conversations are, they're between me and the person who ought to be involved in the conversation, not me and a whole flock of people are going to take shots at me.
Yvonne, what's been your experience? Who has taken the lead in bringing evaluations to the board?
Generally, the lead director, when the chairman is also the CEO. Obviously, the chair and the lead director discuss it with each other. But generally, it starts there, then it moves to the Nom-Gov committee chairperson to be engaged in that and really design the process, talking to the full board about what it is that is going to happen, how it's going to happen, and how they will be involved and their participation would be involved in it.
So the key is really everybody understanding the process, really, if I heard you right, Gerry, making sure everyone understands this is a confidential process. We're really only at the end going to be looking at trends, not individual statements and attestation of comments, but we're really doing this in a confidential setting in a way that we can pull it together. So the question becomes, who gets the results?
First of all, one of the things that I think has been extremely useful in every case where an evaluation process is begun is the thought process about should there be an outside private party of some sort, a third party that helps with the process. But there is just no doubt in my mind that having a third party involved in the process so that confidentiality is maintained, so that the individuals believe that even if I'm simply evaluating the performance of the board, that my personal views are not going to get disclosed to all of the members of the board. So they say, oh, all those negative comments came from Joe. Well, now everybody knows that Joe's a super critical person. And so it seems to me that the third party helps to provide a funnel so that all that information can go to the third party, and the third party can help to take a coalescing mindset and communicate it to the board members and to the key members who need to know the critical information.
For more information on NACD's custom evaluations, visit nacdonline.org or email feedback@nacdonline.org.